Hello everyone, my name is Shannon Jayapal and I want to thank you for joining me as I introduce my project proposal for applying the self-determination theory in nursing care settings. My agenda for today begins with a short introduction to the topic, followed by my proposal for increasing nurse motivation, then to address why it is important, followed by how and when to put the proposal to action. This is my grandfather Edgar McComb with my daughter many years ago. A few years before this picture was taken, he had a pain in his leg that required a hospital visit. They found a clot, and the doctor decided to keep him overnight to put him on blood thinners to see if they could get the clot to dissipate. He stayed in an outpatient area, and we could hear people milling around, barking orders. It was clear that the mood of the staff was one of frustration. The next morning we got a call from my mother that he had to be operated on immediately because he suffered internal bleeding into his spine. We later found out that they had given him 10 times the amount of heparin that he was supposed to receive. This confusion was due to shift changes, miscommunication, and no doubt fatigue. This man who hiked mountains well into his 80s lost his ability to walk, becoming a paraplegic. We found out after the fact that there were other numerous miscommunications that could have been avoided. Anyone who has been in a hospital setting as a patient or a family member understands the value of quality nursing care and how emotions and miscommunications can impact patient outcomes and stress a nurse's motivation. The who in this proposal are the nurses taking care of the patients, who are often exposed to complex situations involving medical decision-making, direct patient care, and workplace social dynamics, all while navigating a myriad of emotions. With all that nurses handle, it seems feasible to create a program that enhances their motivation to increase communication and add to patient safety measures. Extrinsic motivators like bonuses, rewards, and accolades are often what is used to motivate teams today. However, decades of research supports an entirely different structure that works even better. Therefore, I propose constructing a program within the hospital setting to enhance communication skills by utilizing the self-determination theory platform under the concept of basic needs platform. Okay, so what does that mean? What is self-determination theory? Well, it's a well-known human motivational concept that proposes that there is an internal need for a sense of well-being that can be either encouraged or built upon, or hindered or broken down by the surrounding environment. It is an evidence-based platform for personality development, meaning there is a great deal of supportive research showing the self-determination theory to be reliable in explaining human motivation. The self-determination theory has many theories under it. In the research articles I have read regarding nurse motivation strategies, the most popular component of the theory is to increase nurse motivation is called the basic psychology needs theory. Now, what does this mean? While the self-determination theory is like an umbrella, this theory falls under the umbrella and explains that there is a greater satisfaction of well-being when 3 basic needs are met. The first one is the need for autonomy, agency, or control over what they do. To have a say in the process. It's not being told what to do, but what choices are available to build the need. The next is the need for competence. When nurses have confidence in their skill set and have full knowledge of the tasks needed to be completed, they are better equipped to handle the stressful situations that may arise. The last basic psychological need is the need for relatedness. This is a desire to have supportive community within the surroundings of the nursing unit, where they can rely on each other for help or motivation and build relationships with all involved, which will in turn forge connections and create social support. You may ask why applying the self-determination theory utilizing the basic needs platform in nursing care settings is so important. This is of interest because applying these techniques will help nursing teams build emotionally intelligent decision-making skills, developing their autonomy as they gain the appropriate tools to create self-made strategies through training to communicate effectively with patients, their families, and fellow colleagues. It's also important for increasing the team's emotional support, so you have a strong sense of relatedness and a bond. Caregivers that learn to clearly communicate and support each other also benefit their own personal mental well-being that will in turn contribute to the patient's safety. It is also vital for building their skills in their job. As they increase their competency by adding to their skill set, they are then motivated to apply this knowledge to enhance collaborative problem-solving skills that will address issues with patients or between staff members, which creates confidence in their abilities. Now, how does self-determination theory's basic needs become a reality? This is accomplished by implementing a few research-based techniques that show promise in the process. The first of which, introducing conflict management styles that help train nurses to navigate emotional situations. There are many techniques to choose from. One example in particular is called constructive conflict management style. This type of management style promotes a response to conflict by training in compromise and collaboration strategies. They would take part in role-playing to practice, which builds upon internal methods of motivation. Rather than getting angry or overwhelmed, this teaches nurses how to have more agency over emotional challenges and creates an internal drive to seek out conflict resolution. Another way to put self-determination theory to use is by enhancing the knowledge of cultural awareness. Cultural diversity among nurses and their patients has the potential to pose communication challenges if prejudicial misunderstandings take place. Embracing different cultures brings about a cohesive and less judgmental environment. Therefore, training to inform nurses how to understand the differences creates an openness and community acceptance of all cultures. Through the basic psychological needs theory, nurse motivation also has the potential to grow through the introduction of technology or training in the skillful use of the current technologies in place to make work life a little less daunting. It is generally said that technology is meant to make life more streamlined. This is true, of course, only if it serves its purpose and doesn't add to the workload. Research shows that technology like artificial intelligence, or AI, for example, is becoming more and more capable of reducing the workload for some healthcare fields. If a person-centered approach through technology can be accomplished, this may take some of the burden from the nursing workload that is already quite full and optimize workflow as well as their mental well-being. All of the hows mentioned here would benefit from intertwining these ideas into hospital policies and procedures, outlining different learning programs to enhance a nurse's ability to use conflict resolution through management strategies, creating diversity, equity, and inclusion programs for staff participation, allowing understanding of differences to enhance communication skills, and streamline workflow with the latest and most person-centered technologies. If the question is, when do we start? The answer is, of course, right now. Everything in this presentation can be initiated starting with gathering committees that have nursing, management staff, and human resources input to create a process at the hospital level, with the understanding that introducing new protocols such as this can be hard at first. This is a change worth making because proposals like this not only supports motivation in nursing staff, but the effects have the potential to go up beyond the boundaries of the nursing unit as it is intended to benefit. One clear indirect benefactor of this immediate call to action is the patient. With the nursing unit having more streamlined process, supportive avenues in place, and an understanding of their own well-being. This will surely affect the quality of patient care. This is a highly ranked goal of many hospitals. The hospital ecosystem also has many different components within the facility, such as other providers of care, lab technicians, pharmaceutical companies. Nurses trained with self-determination theory communication skills are motivated to work together, better able to coordinate care and set examples to other units within the facility who come in contact with them. This training will create a competence that will enable smooth transitions and enhance the communication skills needed to multitask. Once the program is established, it becomes a blueprint for other units within the hospital facility. Learning motivational skills to enhance autonomy, competence, and relatedness is universal and goes beyond the nursing care settings. Hospital billing, maintenance, custodial, or transportation staff are all armed, if they are all armed with the self-determination theory's competencies, will utilize these methods as well as enhance their own motivation and increase production as well. As the old saying goes, there's no time like the present. Devising a research-based program that implements the self-determination theory's basic psychological needs has the potential to increase nurse motivation by enhancing their sense of agency within their position, adding to their skill sets and building a supportive community within their units, which increases patient safety and provides efficiencies. I want to thank you for listening to my proposal to use the self-determination theory's basic needs platform to increase motivation in nursing care teams. Please feel free to reach out to me with any questions or comments regarding my proposal. I appreciate any feedback, and I look forward to meeting again soon. Thank you, and I appreciate your time.